My name is Emma. I am 22 years old. Last night changed everything forever. They threw me out like garbage, like I was nothing. But this morning, the police came knocking. They brought papers with my name on them. Official papers, important papers. Now everything is completely different. Let me tell you what really happened. You won't believe this story. I still can't believe it myself. It sounds like something from a movie, but every word is true. It was freezing cold last night. So cold my breath made clouds in the air. The wind cut through my thin pink pajamas like knives. I stood on the front porch shivering. My bare feet were already numb on the cold wooden boards. My stepmother Linda slammed the heavy door behind me. The sound echoed through the quiet neighborhood like a gunshot. My stepfather Marcus turned the lock. I heard that click. That final terrible click. My heart shattered into a million pieces. "Don't you dare come back here!" Linda screamed through the window. Her face was pressed against the glass. Red with rage, twisted with hate, her eyes were cold and mean like a snake's eyes. "You're not wanted here anymore! Do you hear me? Not wanted!" I pounded on the door with my fists. My knuckles were already bleeding from the cold and the rough wood. I begged them to let me back inside. "Please," I cried. "Please don't do this to me. I'm sorry. Whatever I did wrong, I'm sorry." But they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't even answer. My fingers went numb from the freezing air. Tears turned to ice on my cheeks. The neighbors' lights started coming on one by one. Yellow squares of warmth in their windows. People peeked through their curtains at me. Mrs. Chen from across the street. The Johnson family next door. The old man who lived alone in the blue house. They all watched me suffer. But nobody helped. Nobody opened their door. Nobody offered shelter to a girl freezing in her pajamas. I stumbled to Riverside Park 6 blocks away. My feet left bloody prints on the sidewalk. The grass was wet and cold with morning dew. I sat on a wooden bench under a streetlight. The light buzzed and flickered above me. I wrapped my arms around myself and sobbed. I had nowhere to go. No money in my pockets. No phone to call for help. No family who cared if I lived or died. But I was so wrong about family. So completely, totally wrong. Let me start from the very beginning. 6 months ago, my life seemed normal. Almost perfect, actually. I lived in a big white house on Maple Street with Linda and Marcus Peterson. They had taken me in when I was just 16 years old. A scared, broken girl with nowhere else to go. My real parents, David and Susan Thompson, died in a horrible car accident on a rainy Tuesday night. I remember that night like it was yesterday. The police officer at our door, his sad eyes, his gentle voice telling me they weren't coming home. Ever. I was all alone in the world. Or so I thought. Linda seemed so kind back then. She had soft blonde hair and a sweet smile. She baked chocolate chip cookies that made the whole house smell like heaven. She helped me with my math homework at the kitchen table. She bought me pretty dresses for school. She tucked me into bed and read me stories even though I was 16. Marcus was quieter, but seemed nice too. He was a big man with rough hands from his construction work. He fixed my bicycle when the chain broke. He taught me how to change a car tire in the driveway. He called me kiddo and ruffled my hair when he walked by. I thought they loved me like their own daughter. I was so young, so naive, so desperate for a family. I believed every single lie for 6 whole years. 6 years of my life stolen by people I trusted. My best friend Katie Martinez always said something felt wrong about them. Katie lived in the yellow house right next door. We had been friends since we were 7 years old. She knew me better than anyone in the world. Katie had beautiful dark curls that bounced when she walked. Bright green eyes that saw everything. She was brave and smart and always told the truth. "They're too perfect, Emma," Katie would say. We'd be sitting on her bedroom floor painting our nails bright pink. Her room smelled like strawberry lip gloss and vanilla candles. Real people aren't that nice all the time. Real people get angry sometimes. Real people make mistakes. But Linda and Marcus? They're like robots, like they're acting in a play. Katie was always right about people. Always. She could spot a liar from a mile away. She could see through fake smiles and pretty words. But I didn't want to listen. I wanted a family so badly it hurt. I ignored every red flag. And there were so many red flags I should have seen. Linda never let me have friends over except for Katie. "Our house is too small," she would say with that fake sweet smile. But our house wasn't small at all. It was huge. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a big kitchen with granite counters, a living room with a fireplace, a basement with a pool table. Marcus made good money in construction. Linda worked as a manager at First National Bank. They had plenty of space and plenty of money. So why did they lie about it? They never let me get a part-time job like other kids my age. You need to focus on your studies, Linda would coo. She'd pat my head like I was a pet dog. School is your job right now. We'll take care of everything else. But they never gave me spending money. I wore the same old clothes year after year. I ate tiny portions at dinner while they ate huge helpings. They said money was tight and we had to be careful. Another big fat lie. I wasn't allowed to date boys, not ever. Boys are nothing but trouble, Marcus would grunt whenever the subject came up. His voice got hard and scary when he talked about dating. You're too young for that nonsense. Focus on school. But I was 22 years old. All my friends had boyfriends. They went to movies and dances and parties. I stayed home every weekend feeling lonely and left out. The biggest red flag should have been the mail. I never ever got any mail. Not even junk mail or store advertisements. Every other person in America gets mail sometimes, but not me. Never me. When I asked Linda about it, her whole face would change. Her smile would disappear. Her eyes would get hard and cold. Nothing important ever comes for you, she'd say quickly. Too quickly. Just bills and boring adult stuff. Then she'd grab the mail from my hands fast. She'd stuff it in her purse or hide it in her bedroom. She never let me see even one piece of mail. Katie noticed this too. We were sitting in her bright yellow kitchen one Saturday morning. She was making pancakes shaped like hearts. The kitchen smelled like butter and maple syrup. Warm and safe and normal. It's really weird that you never get mail, Emma, Katie said. She flipped a pancake with a silver spatula. I mean, everyone gets something sometimes. Birthday cards from stores when you turn 18. College brochures. Credit card offers. Coupons from pizza places. Something. I just shrugged and stirred my orange juice. I didn't want to think about it too hard. Thinking about it made my stomach feel sick and twisted. It made me feel scared and confused inside. I just wanted to believe Linda and Marcus loved me. I wanted to belong somewhere. I wanted them to be my real family. But real families don't throw you out in the freezing cold. Real families don't lie to your face for years and years. Real families love you and protect you and want the best for you. Linda and Marcus were not my family. They were something much darker. Something evil. The night they threw me out started exactly like every other night. Nothing seemed different or wrong. I was washing dishes in the warm kitchen after dinner. Steam rose from the hot soapy water. The yellow curtains were closed against the dark evening. Linda was in the living room watching her favorite talk show. Some woman was crying about her cheating husband. Marcus sat in his brown leather chair reading the newspaper. The sports section crinkled as he turned the pages. Everything seemed perfectly normal, peaceful even. I was humming a song I heard on the radio, some pop song about love and dreams. I felt happy and safe in what I thought was my home. Then the doorbell rang. A long, serious ring that cut through the quiet evening. Linda's TV show went to commercial. Marcus looked up from his paper. We all froze for a second. We weren't expecting anyone. Nobody ever visited us except Katie, and she always just walked in through the back door. Linda got up slowly. Her house slippers shuffled across the hardwood floor. I heard her talking to someone at the front door. A man's deep voice I didn't recognize. Official and important. Like a police officer or a government worker. Linda's voice got high and squeaky. She was nervous about something. Very nervous. Emma, Linda called from the front hallway. Her voice was shaking like a leaf in the wind. Come here right now. Hurry up. I dried my wet hands on the blue dish towel. The towel had little white flowers sewn around the edges. I walked to the front door on trembling legs. Something was very wrong. I could feel it in the air like electricity before a storm. A man in an expensive gray suit stood on our front porch. He was older, maybe 60 years old. He had kind brown eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Gray hair combed neatly to one side. He looked like someone's grandfather. Someone you could trust. He held a brown leather briefcase in one hand and a clipboard full of papers in the other. Are you Emma Rose Thompson? The man asked. His voice was gentle but very serious. Professional. He looked directly into my eyes when he spoke. Nobody had looked at me like that in a long time, like I was important, like I mattered. Yes, sir, I said. My heart started beating so fast I thought it might explode. That's me. Is something wrong? Did something happen? Linda pushed between us like a protective mother bear, but she wasn't protecting me. She was protecting herself. Her face was white as fresh snow, scared, guilty. She doesn't need to talk to you, Linda said quickly. Her words tumbled out fast and nervous. Whatever this is about, you can talk to us. We're her legal guardians. The man looked confused. He checked his papers again carefully. According to our records, Miss Thompson is 22 years old. She's been an adult for 4 years. She doesn't need legal guardians anymore. He looked back at me with those kind eyes. Miss Thompson, my name is James Wellington. I'm from Wellington and Associates law firm downtown. We need to speak with you about your inheritance. My inheritance? What inheritance? My brain felt fuzzy and confused. My parents died broke and in debt. They left me nothing but sad memories and a small box of old photos. Linda and Marcus told me this 100 times. They said my parents were terrible with money. They said I was lucky they took me in because nobody else would. I looked at Linda. Her face was getting redder by the second. Like a tomato in the sun. Marcus had gotten up from his chair. He was standing behind Linda now. His big hands were clenched into tight fists. His jaw was set hard and angry. There's been some kind of mistake, Marcus said. His voice was low and dangerous, like a growling dog ready to bite. Emma doesn't have any inheritance. Her parents were poor. They left her absolutely nothing. We told her years ago. Mr. Wellington shook his head slowly. I'm very sorry, but that information is completely incorrect. Emma Rose Thompson is the sole heir to the Thompson estate. Her grandfather, Robert Thompson, passed away last month. He left her everything in his will. His house, his construction business, all his savings and investments. The total value is approximately $3.2 million. $3 million? My head started spinning like a carnival ride. I felt dizzy and sick. I had to grab the door frame to keep from falling down. My grandfather? What grandfather? Linda and Marcus told me my grandfather died when I was just 5 years old. They said he was a mean, bitter old man who hated children. They said he never wanted anything to do with me. They said he blamed me for my parents' death somehow. Another lie. Everything was a lie. My whole life was built on lies. That's completely impossible, Linda said. Her voice was getting louder and more desperate. Her grandfather died years and years ago. We told her about it. She knows he's dead. We went to his funeral. Mr. Wellington looked directly at me again. Miss Thompson, your grandfather tried to contact you many, many times over the years. He sent letters every month. Birthday cards every year. Christmas presents. He even came to this house several times trying to see you. Did you ever receive any of these things? I stared at Linda and Marcus in shock. They were both pale now, sweating, guilty as sin, caught red-handed in their lies. No, I whispered. My voice came out like a squeak. I never got anything. They told me he was dead. They said he died when I was little. They said he never cared about me. Mr. Wellington's kind face got hard and angry. I see what's been happening here. Your grandfather loved you more than life itself, Miss Thompson. He talked about you every single day. He kept pictures of you all over his house. He hired our law firm to find you when you turned 18. But every time we tried to reach you, these people told us you weren't interested. They said you didn't want his money or his love. They even signed legal papers claiming to speak for you. They signed papers? Using my name? Without asking me? Without even telling me? My hands started shaking like leaves in a hurricane. This wasn't just lying anymore. This was much, much worse. This was fraud. This was identity theft. This was stealing my whole life. We need to schedule a meeting immediately, Mr. Wellington said. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. Can you come to our office downtown? He handed me a thick white business card. The paper felt expensive and important in my trembling fingers. We have a lot to discuss about your grandfather's estate. She'll be there, Linda said way too quickly. We'll bring her first thing in the morning. Don't worry about that. Actually, Mr. Wellington said firmly, Miss Thompson is a grown adult. She can come to our office by herself, unless she specifically wants you there with her. He looked directly at me again. It's completely your choice, Miss Thompson. Your decision entirely. I looked at Linda and Marcus standing there like criminals caught in the act. They were staring at me with hard, angry eyes. Linda's mouth was pressed into a thin, mean line. Marcus was breathing heavy through his nose like an angry bull. They looked like strangers to me now. Like enemies. Like people who wanted to hurt me. I'll come alone, I said. My voice was stronger than I felt inside. I want to hear everything. Every single detail. Mr. Wellington nodded and smiled. Good for you, Miss Thompson. I'll see you tomorrow morning. He walked back to his shiny black car parked at the curb. Linda slammed the door behind him so hard the windows rattled. Then she turned to face me. Her face was twisted with pure rage. All her fake motherly kindness was gone forever. The sweet mask had finally fallen off. The real Linda was standing there. And she was a monster. You ungrateful little brat, she hissed like a poisonous snake. After everything we did for you. Everything we sacrificed for you. We fed you for 6 years. We put a roof over your head. We bought you clothes and books and everything else you needed. We took care of you when nobody else in the world wanted you. But you lied to me, I said. My voice was shaking but getting stronger. About my grandfather. About the letters. About the money. About everything. You lied to me for 6 whole years. Marcus stepped forward. He was a very big man with thick, muscular arms from construction work. He looked scary and dangerous in the dim hallway light. Your grandfather was a selfish, foolish old man, he growled. He would have spoiled you rotten with his money, made you think you were better than hardworking people like us. We protected you from that kind of life. Protected me? By lying every single day? By stealing my inheritance money? By keeping me away from the only family I had left in the world? This wasn't protection. This was kidnapping. This was theft. This was evil. We deserve that money more than you do, Linda said. Her eyes were wild and crazy looking, desperate like a trapped animal. We raised you from a teenager. We spent our hard-earned money on you for 6 long years. That inheritance should be ours by right. We earned it. Now I finally understood everything. They never loved me at all. Not even a little bit. They never wanted to be my family or take care of me. They just wanted to control me. They wanted to keep me away from my grandfather until the day he died. Then they planned to steal his money somehow. Maybe through fake legal papers. Maybe by making me disappear completely. They were professional criminals. Get out, Marcus said. His voice was cold as ice, final as death. Get out of our house right this minute. Pack nothing. Take nothing. Just get out. But where will I go? I asked. Hot tears were streaming down my face like rivers. I don't have any money. I don't have any clothes except what I'm wearing. I don't have anywhere to sleep tonight anymore, Linda said. She grabbed my arm roughly and started dragging me toward the door. Her fingernails dug deep into my skin. It hurt terribly. You made your choice, Emma. You chose money over the people who loved you. You chose greed over family, but they didn't love me. They never did. They weren't my family. They never were. They were thieves and liars who stole 6 precious years of my life. They stole my grandfather's love. They stole my inheritance money. They stole letters and presents and birthday cards. They stole my identity and my future. They shoved me out into the freezing cold night wearing nothing but thin pajamas. I had no shoes on my feet, no coat to keep me warm, no money in my pockets, no phone to call for help. I was completely alone in the world, or so I thought. I walked slowly to Riverside Park 6 blocks away. Each step on the cold sidewalk felt like walking on broken glass. My feet started bleeding, but I kept walking. I had nowhere else to go. The park was dark and empty, just me and the streetlights and the cold night air. I sat on a wooden bench under a flickering light. The bench was covered with frost. It felt like sitting on ice. I wrapped my arms around myself and cried until no more tears would come. I was freezing. I was scared. I was more alone than I'd ever been in my entire life. But something inside me was starting to change. Something was growing stronger. I was getting angry instead of just sad. I was getting determined instead of just scared. Linda and Marcus thought they had won. They thought they had gotten rid of me forever. But they were wrong. Very, very wrong. When the sun finally came up, I walked straight to Katie's house. My feet were blue with cold and covered in dried blood. Katie was getting ready for her job at the flower shop downtown. She took one look at me through her kitchen window and ran outside in her bathrobe. Emma! Oh my God, what happened to you? Katie's green eyes were huge with shock and worry. You look terrible. You look like you've been outside all night. Where have you been? I told her everything that had happened. About Mr. Wellington, the lawyer. About my grandfather, who wasn't really dead. About the $3 million inheritance. About Linda and Marcus throwing me out in the cold. Katie listened with her mouth hanging wide open. She got angrier and angrier with every word I spoke. Those horrible, evil monsters, Katie shouted. She was pacing around her warm kitchen like a caged tiger. Her hands were waving in the air. Her face was red with rage. They stole from you. They lied to you for years and years. They kept you from your own grandfather. We have to call the police right now. But first I wanted to go see the lawyer. I needed to hear the whole truth about my grandfather, about the money, about everything Linda and Marcus had stolen from me. Katie drove me downtown in her little red car. The law office building was 30 stories tall, made of shiny glass and polished steel. It looked very expensive and very important. Mr. Wellington's office was on the 20th floor. The waiting room had thick carpet and leather chairs. Fresh flowers in crystal vases, Everything smelled like success and money. A pretty secretary with blonde hair offered me coffee and cookies. I felt important for the first time in my whole life. Mr. Wellington's personal office was huge. Dark wood furniture everywhere. Books lining all the walls from floor to ceiling. A big window with a view of the whole city. Everything smelled like leather and old paper and expensive cologne. He made me feel safe and protected. "Your grandfather loved you more than anything in this world," Mr. Wellington said. His kind eyes were sad but also angry. "He talked about you every single day, Miss Thompson. He kept dozens of pictures of you on his desk. Pictures from when you were a baby, a toddler, a little girl. He never stopped loving you or thinking about you." He showed me a thick photo album with a brown leather cover. Inside were hundreds of pictures I had never seen before. Me as a tiny baby in a pink blanket. Me taking my first steps in a sunny backyard. Me riding a tricycle with ribbons in my hair. Me blowing out candles on birthday cakes. And in every single picture there was an old man with gentle eyes and a sweet smile. He was holding me, playing with me, looking at me like I was the most precious thing in the world. "This is your grandfather," Mr. Wellington said softly. His name was Robert James Thompson. He owned Thompson Construction Company downtown. Very successful business that he built from nothing. When your parents died in that terrible accident, he wanted to take you in immediately. He wanted to raise you himself. But Linda and Marcus had already filed legal papers for guardianship. They convinced the family court judge that they would be better parents for you. "But why?" I asked. My voice came out as a whisper. "Why did they want me if they didn't really love me? Why would they take in a teenage girl they didn't even know?" Mr. Wellington's face got hard as stone. "Because they knew about your grandfather's money, Miss Thompson. Linda worked as a bank manager. She had access to all kinds of financial records and private information. She knew your grandfather was very wealthy. She knew he would leave everything to you when he died. They planned this whole scheme from the very beginning. They planned this. For 6 long years, they planned to steal my entire life. They planned to keep me away from my grandfather until the day he died. Then they would find some way to get his money. Maybe through forged legal papers. Maybe by making me disappear forever. Maybe something even worse than that. Your grandfather tried so hard to contact you over the years," Mr. Wellington continued. "He came to that house at least 20 times. Linda and Marcus told him you didn't want to see him. They said you blamed him for your parents' death somehow. They said you hated him and never wanted to hear his name again. My heart broke into a million pieces hearing this. My poor, sweet grandfather, he died thinking I hated him. He died thinking I blamed him for my parents dying. He died thinking his only granddaughter wanted nothing to do with him. But I never knew he was alive. I never knew he was trying so hard to reach me. I never knew he loved me. He left you everything in his will," Mr. Wellington said. "His beautiful house on Oak Street. His construction business that employs 50 people. All his savings and investments. The total value is $3.2 million. But there's something else, Miss Thompson. Something very important that you need to know." He pulled out a thick manila folder stuffed with papers. Inside were copies of dozens and dozens of letters, all addressed to me at Linda and Marcus's house. All returned to my grandfather unopened. The handwriting was shaky but clear, old-fashioned cursive writing. Each letter was full of love and longing and sadness. "My dearest Emma," one letter said, "I think about you every single day and every single night. I miss you so much it feels like a physical pain in my chest. Please call me. Please write to me. Please come see me. I want to hear your sweet voice again. I want to know about your life, your dreams, your hopes for the future. I love you more than all the stars in the sky." I cried reading those letters. Years and years of love I never got to receive. Years of family I never knew I had. Linda and Marcus stole all of it from me. They stole my grandfather's final years on this earth. They stole my chance to know him as an adult. They stole my chance to say goodbye when he was dying. But there was so much more than I ever imagined. "Your grandfather hired a private investigator," Mr. Wellington said. His voice was getting harder and angrier. "He suspected Linda and Marcus were lying to him about you. The investigator found proof of their crimes. Bank records showing stolen money, forged legal documents with your fake signature, intercepted mail hidden in their house. We have evidence of fraud, identity theft, and financial crimes going back 6 years. He showed me copies of the evidence. Linda had been stealing every piece of mail that came for me. Birthday cards from my grandfather with money inside. Christmas presents that were never opened. College scholarship letters I never saw. Job applications from companies that wanted to hire me. She kept everything in a big wooden box hidden in her bedroom closet. Marcus had forged my signature on dozens of legal documents. Papers saying I didn't want contact with my grandfather. Papers refusing his gifts and money and love. Papers that weren't worth anything because I never actually signed them. But my grandfather didn't know they were fake. They had stolen thousands and thousands of dollars that was meant for me. Birthday money, Christmas money, graduation gifts, money for clothes and school supplies and college tuition. Linda deposited every penny into her own personal bank account. She used my grandfather's love to steal from serious criminal activity, Mr. Wellington said. His eyes were blazing with anger now. We're going to prosecute them to the full extent of the law. We're going to get every stolen dollar back, plus interest, plus damages for pain and suffering, plus punitive damages for the emotional harm they caused you and your grandfather. For the first time in my life, I felt truly powerful. I wasn't a victim anymore. I wasn't helpless or alone or scared. I was a fighter. I was going to get justice for my grandfather and for myself. Linda and Marcus thought they had won the game, but the game was just beginning. That same afternoon, we went to the police station downtown. The building was gray concrete with small windows. Police officers in dark blue uniforms walked around looking serious and important. Everything smelled like coffee and disinfectant and justice. Detective Maria Rodriguez listened to our whole story. She was a small woman with short black hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She took detailed notes while we talked. Her face got angrier and more disgusted with every detail we shared. This is one of the most complex fraud cases I've ever seen, Detective Rodriguez said. She was shaking her head in amazement. Identity theft, mail theft, forgery, financial crimes, possibly kidnapping since they kept you isolated from your legal family. We'll need to investigate this very thoroughly. We'll need search warrants and forensic accountants and document experts. They got a judge to sign search warrants for Linda and Marcus's house that same day. My house. The house I thought was my home but never really was. Katie and I waited at the police station while a whole team of detectives and crime scene investigators searched every room. 3 hours later, Detective Rodriguez came back carrying several cardboard boxes and wearing a big smile. "We found everything," she said with satisfaction. A whole bedroom closet full of evidence. Letters, birthday cards, Christmas presents, legal documents, bank statements. They kept it all. They probably thought they'd need it someday to cover their tracks or forge more papers. That evening, I watched from Katie's living room window as police cars surrounded the house on Maple Street. Red and blue lights flashed in the darkness like a carnival. Neighbors came out of their houses to watch the show. The same neighbors who had watched me freeze on that porch just 24 hours earlier. Linda screamed and cried like a crazy person as they put silver handcuffs on her wrists. "We loved her," she yelled at the news cameras. "We took care of her for 6 years. We sacrificed everything for that ungrateful girl. She's choosing money over the people who raised her." But nobody believed her lies anymore. The truth was finally out in the open. Marcus was completely quiet. He knew they were caught. He knew their 6-year plan had failed completely. He knew they were going to prison for a very long time. 6 years of lies and theft and fraud were finally over. Justice was coming at last. The next morning, I went to see my grandfather's house for the first time. My house now. It was the most beautiful place I had ever seen. A big white Victorian house with a wraparound porch and flower gardens everywhere. Rose bushes lined the curved walkway. The roses were red and pink and yellow and white. They smelled like heaven itself. Inside, the house was like a museum dedicated to love and family. Pictures of my parents were everywhere. Wedding photos, baby photos, family vacation photos I had never seen before. Pictures of me as a little girl that I didn't even remember being taken. And in the center of the living room mantel was a huge framed portrait of me at age 5. I was missing my 2 front teeth and grinning at the camera like the happiest child in the world. My grandfather's study was exactly like he had left it the day he died. Books about construction and business management lined the walls. A big oak desk covered with papers and blueprints. And right in the center of that desk was another framed picture of me. The same 5-year-old girl with the missing teeth and the huge smile. I found more letters in his desk drawer. Letters he had written to me but never sent because Linda and Marcus convinced him I didn't want them. Each one was full of love and regret and hope. He blamed himself for not fighting harder to find me. He blamed himself for letting Linda and Marcus keep us apart for so many years. "My precious Emma," one letter said. "I failed you. I failed your parents. I should have fought harder in court to get custody of you. I should have hired better lawyers. I should have exposed Linda and Marcus for the criminals they are. I'm sorry I let them steal you from me. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you like I promised your father I would. But it wasn't his fault at all. It was never his fault. Linda and Marcus were the criminals. They were the liars. They were the ones who destroyed our family. They were the ones who broke an old man's heart and stole a young woman's future. Mr. Wellington helped me understand the construction business over the next few weeks. Thompson Construction was worth over $1.5 million all by itself. My grandfather had built it from absolutely nothing. Started with just a hammer and a pickup truck 40 years ago. He wanted me to learn the business and run it someday. He wanted to teach me everything he knew about building and leadership and treating workers fairly. But Linda and Marcus had stolen that chance too. They stole years of learning and growing and bonding with my grandfather. They stole his chance to pass on his life's work to his granddaughter. They stole my chance to make him proud before he died. The criminal trial took 8 long months. Linda and Marcus both hired expensive lawyers with the money they had stolen from me, but it didn't matter. The evidence against them was overwhelming. Letters and documents and bank records and witness statements. Everything proved their guilt beyond any doubt. Linda Peterson was sentenced to 7 years in state prison for mail theft, identity theft, fraud, and conspiracy. Marcus Peterson got 10 years for forgery, fraud, financial crimes, and conspiracy. They also had to pay back every single dollar they had stolen from my grandfather and me, plus 20% interest, plus $50,000 each in punitive damages for emotional suffering. I testified at their sentencing hearing. The courtroom was packed with people, news reporters with cameras and notebooks, business partners who remembered me as a little girl, neighbors from Maple Street who finally understood what kind of monsters they had been living next to. Linda and Marcus Peterson stole much more than money from me, I told the judge. My voice was strong and clear and confident. They stole my family. They stole my grandfather's love. They stole 6 precious years of my life. They made me believe I was completely alone in the world when I had family who loved me desperately. They made my grandfather die thinking I hated him when I loved him with all my heart. They are not just thieves. They are destroyers of families and hearts and lives. Judge Patricia Williams agreed completely. This was a calculated, long-term criminal conspiracy, she said sternly. You targeted a vulnerable teenage girl for financial gain. You isolated her from her loving family. You stole her identity, her inheritance, and her future. You broke an old man's heart and caused immeasurable suffering. These sentences reflect the severity and cruelty of your crimes. Linda cried and begged for mercy one last time. We're sorry, she sobbed. We made terrible mistakes. We never meant to hurt anyone. Please don't send us to prison for so long. But it was far too late for apologies. Some crimes are too evil to forgive with just words. Marcus stayed silent right until the end. Even facing 10 years in prison, he couldn't admit he was wrong. He couldn't say he was sorry for destroying my life and my grandfather's heart. He was a criminal and a coward to his very core. After the trial ended, I drove to Peaceful Gardens Cemetery to visit my grandfather's grave. The headstone was simple but beautiful, black granite with gold letters. Robert James Thompson, beloved grandfather, devoted father, faithful friend, always loving, always hoping, always waiting. I brought red roses from his garden. Our garden now. I'm so sorry, Grandpa, I whispered to the cold stone. I'm sorry I never got to know you as an adult. I'm sorry they kept us apart for so many years. I'm sorry you died thinking I didn't love you. But I'm going to make you proud now. I'm going to take care of your business and your employees. I'm going to help people the way you always did. I'm going to carry on your legacy of love and kindness. I felt his presence there in that quiet cemetery, his love surrounding me like a warm blanket on a cold day. He wasn't really gone. Not completely. His love lived on in the house he left me, in the business he built, in the life he made possible for me even after death. Katie helped me move into the house on Oak Street. We painted my new bedroom sunny yellow like fields of flowers. We planted more roses in the front garden. All the family photos my grandfather had treasured. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was truly home. I hired experienced managers to help me run Thompson Construction, people my grandfather had trusted for many years. They taught me everything about the building business, about managing employees, about treating customers fairly, about growing a company the right way. I was a fast learner. I had inherited my grandfather's mind for business and his heart for people. Within 18 months, Thompson Construction was doing better than it ever had before. We built beautiful homes for young families, schools for children to learn and grow, community centers for neighborhoods to gather and celebrate. We helped people build their dreams from the ground up, just like my grandfather had always done. I also started a special foundation in my grandfather's memory, the Robert James Thompson Foundation for Orphaned and Exploited Children. We help kids who lose their parents or get taken advantage of by criminals like Linda and Marcus. We make sure they stay connected to loving family members. We make sure nobody can lie to them or steal from them or isolate them from people who love them. Katie became my business partner and best friend for life. She had always been good with numbers and people. Together, we grew both the construction company and the Children's Foundation. We helped hundreds of families over the years. We prevented other crimes like the ones committed against me. Sometimes late at night, I wonder what would have happened if Mr. Wellington had never come to that door. Would Linda and Marcus have kept lying to me forever? Would I have lived my whole life thinking I was completely alone? Would my grandfather's money have mysteriously disappeared into their bank accounts after I died? Would other children have suffered the same fate as me? But I don't like to think about those dark possibilities for very long. I prefer to focus on the beautiful truth that love always wins over lies. Justice always defeats evil in the end. Family always finds a way to connect across any barrier, even death itself. My grandfather's love reached across the grave to save me. His lawyer found me when Linda and Marcus thought I was hidden forever. His money gave me freedom when they thought they had me trapped. His memory gave me strength when they thought they had broken my spirit completely. I learned that real family has nothing to do with blood or adoption papers or legal documents. It's about love and truth and protection and sacrifice. Linda and Marcus were never my family, even though they had legal custody of me. My grandfather was my family, even though I barely remembered him from childhood. Katie is my family, even though we share no DNA at all. Real family doesn't lie to you every single day. Real family doesn't steal your mail and money and identity. Real family doesn't throw you out into the freezing cold night. Real family loves you and protects you and wants the very best for your life. I also learned that criminals always get caught eventually if you never give up fighting for the truth. Linda and Marcus thought they were so clever and careful. They thought their plan was perfect and foolproof. But lies have a way of unraveling over time. Truth has a way of coming out into the light. Justice has a way of finding even the most careful criminals. The night they threw me out into the cold was the worst night of my entire life. I thought it was the end of everything. I thought I had lost my home and my family and my future. But it was actually the beginning of my real life, the life my grandfather had always wanted me to have, the life I deserve to live, the life full of love and truth and purpose and meaning. Now I want to ask you something very important. What would you do if you were in my place? If someone stole 6 years of your life through lies and manipulation, would you be able to forgive them? If someone kept you away from family who loved you desperately, could you move on and build a happy life? If someone threw you out into the cold but justice found you the very next morning, how would you use your second chance at life? These are difficult questions without easy answers, but I believe with all my heart in fighting for truth no matter how hard it gets. I believe in protecting family bonds no matter who tries to break them. I believe in helping others who face the same evil that I faced and survived. If you know someone who is being lied to or controlled or isolated from family who loves them, please speak up. Don't stay quiet like those neighbors who watched me freeze on the porch that terrible night. Be brave like Katie, who always suspected something was terribly wrong. Be persistent like my grandfather, who never stopped trying to find me and love me. Love will always win over lies if you never stop fighting. Truth will always defeat deception if you never give up hope. Family will always find a way to connect across any barrier if the love is real and strong enough. These are the lessons I learned from my story. These are the truths that saved my life and gave me a future worth living. These are the principles I will teach my own children someday and pass on to the families we help through our foundation. Thank you for listening to my story with your heart and your mind. Thank you for caring about justice and truth and family the way my grandfather always did. Please share this story with others who might need to hear it. Please remember that love is always stronger than lies, and truth always wins in the end. With love and respect and hope for your own bright future. Until we meet again.